From being kidnapped at gunpoint to getting shot at by peers, these public figures have survived physically violent attacks by the public. In October 2022, all comedian Chris Redd wanted to do was put on a good show for his fans at the Comedy Cellar, a famous venue in New York City. Instead, as reported by TMZ, he was immediately assaulted once he arrived. The blow to his face was powerful enough to knock him off his feet, and after standing back up, he realized that he'd been cut too deep to chase after his attacker. The Saturday Night Live alum later recalled what happened on the podcast The Last Laugh, as he explained, "I've taken a punch to the face before, so it wasn't terrifying, but what was worrisome is how much blood was coming out of my face. Look, I got 2 fractures in my nose and a fracture in my cheek. A fist don't normally do all of that at one time, so it was safe to assume I was hit with something else."
Because that's why there's blood on the stairs of the Comedy Cellar, because I got hit and I was like, my set! And that's all I can think about. Hey, I gotta go talk to the people.
Once Redd realized that the bleeding was significant enough that he could no longer perform that night, he was quickly taken to the hospital, where his wounds were stitched up and he was able to recover. Unfortunately, nobody was able to catch the assailant before he bolted from the scene. Back in 2004, Benedict Cumberbatch endured a life-altering experience that he was sure he wouldn't survive. While filming the BBC miniseries To the Ends of the Earth in South Africa, he was kidnapped at gunpoint on the side of the road after the vehicle he and his co-stars were in had a flat tire. Cumberbatch and the other actors were then forced into the trunk of their abductor's car and taken underneath a bridge, tied up, and told to crouch on the ground. At that moment, Cumberbatch thought they were going to execute him, but instead, the 6 kidnappers fled the scene. In 2016, the actor told Vanity Fair how the incident changed his perspective. As he revealed, "I was definitely more impatient to live a life less ordinary. I wanted to swim in the sea that I saw the next morning. If you feel you're going to die, you don't think you're going to have all those sensations again. A cold beer, a cigarette, the feel of sun on your skin, all those hit you as firsts again. It is, in a way, a new beginning." As rapper Megan Thee Stallion was trying to leave a party with friends at Kylie Jenner's house in July 2020, a nightmare became a reality, as fellow rapper Tory Lanez allegedly fired at her from a nearby vehicle. Megan later recalled the harrowing experience with Gayle King during an interview on CBS Mornings. As she revealed, "I get out the car and it's like everything happened so fast. And all I hear is this man screaming, and he started shooting. And I'm just like, oh my God, like he shot a couple of times."
I was really scared because I had never been shot at before.
Lanez pleaded not guilty to the charges and has denied doing any wrongdoing, despite video footage, a medical report of the bullet wound to Megan's foot, and a police report of the incident. To make matters even worse, Megan has since faced harassment on the internet, along with accusations that she lied about the incident. According to NPR, while speaking in court at Tory Lanez's trial in December 2022, Megan stated that the attack has left a lasting detrimental impact on her physical and mental wellness. After an impressive string of movie and TV performances in the 80s and 90s, Rick Moranis has long since left the limelight. Then one day in 2020, he was walking along a New York City sidewalk when he was violently punched in the head. The attack was captured by security footage released by the NYPD in October of the same year. After Moranis went down, the assailant simply kept strolling down the street as if nothing had happened. Soon after, the suspect was found and charged with the assault, along with crimes against 4 other victims. As reported by Pix 11 News, Marquise Ventura pled guilty and was sentenced to 2 years behind bars, followed by 3 years of court-mandated supervision. The conviction was far from his first, as he'd already been arrested on 13 earlier occasions, including 5 felony charges. Luckily for Moranis, he didn't suffer any serious injuries, just some pain in his head, hip, and back. He released a short statement to Deadline, saying, "I am fine, but grateful for everyone's thoughts and well wishes." 50 Cent is one of the most famous rappers of the 21st century. Unfortunately for the artist, a good deal of his notoriety came about after he miraculously survived a horrific, life-threatening attack during the outset of his career in May 2000. While in a parked car, he was fired upon multiple times, with several of the projectiles causing wounds to his legs and face. Somehow, 50 Cent managed to survive the ordeal after being rushed to the hospital. During a 2013 appearance on The Howard Stern Show, he revealed that the shooting occurred because of a misunderstanding. After a man was robbed, he assumed that the rapper was involved and hired someone to take him out. When Stern tried to praise the musician for being so tough for surviving 9 bullet wounds, 50 humbly responded,
"Well, I don't know what the criteria are for street credibility. Or
That's
if
it.
If there's something that creates more merit for you."
The rapper then added, "I looked at that experience as something that was unfortunate that I had to experience." He was at least able to joke about the incident after so much time had passed. When Stern's co-host Robin Quivers said that he must not have been hit anywhere important, 50 replied,
Everything's important.
But 50, how lame is this?
Put you in one of your unimportant areas, Robin.
Yeah, right. What's an unimportant area? You're right.
In one of the most brutal and well-publicized attacks on a celebrity in recent times, writer Salman Rushdie was stabbed on stage in New York City when he was about to give a lecture in August 2022. The assailant, Hadi Matar, was eventually held back by several bystanders who rushed in to help. Unfortunately, as the New York Times reported, he'd already caused considerable damage and tried to continue his assault even while being restrained. Rushdie managed to survive, but at great cost. His agent, Andrew Wiley, told the Spanish newspaper, El País, his wounds were profound, but he's also lost the sight of one eye. He had 3 serious wounds in his neck. One hand is incapacitated because the nerves in his arm were cut, and he has about 15 more wounds in his chest and torso. Rushdie had hoped to re-emerge back into society after years of hiding due to threats to his life brought on by declarations from the Iranian government. His controversial 1988 novel, The Satanic Verses, was considered highly offensive to that Islamic regime, which resulted in the issuing of a fatwa calling for his death. In a jailhouse interview with the New York Post, Matar admitted, "I don't like the person. I don't think he's a very good person. I don't like him. I don't like him very much. He's someone who attacked Islam. He attacked their beliefs, the belief systems." Long before he was famous, actor Isaiah Washington was the victim of a terrifying attack while he was still a teenager after he purposefully angered someone armed with a firearm. This mistake resulted in severe consequences for the future star of Grey's Anatomy. For years, he didn't speak publicly about many details regarding the traumatic experience, but he eventually revealed to TV Guide, "I was young and dumb, and one day I popped my mouth to the wrong person and got shot." Washington continued to open up about the incident in the hopes of preventing those younger than him from making the same mistake. During an appearance on the court show Judge Hatchett, he offered some guidance to a troubled teen. As he explained, "Somebody tried to take my life. I have a bullet hole in my right hip from being shot because I thought I was smarter and faster and quicker than the person I was working for at the age of 19.
Well, I'm 42, and there was a time when I never thought I would see 25.
Even celebrities are not immune to the racially motivated violence that has plagued society for centuries. Case in point, in March 2022, Karen Fukuhara, star of Suicide Squad and The Boys, revealed on Instagram that while walking to a cafe, she was struck in the head by a stranger on the street who then proceeded to scream at her before walking away. She was fortunate that the attack didn't cause any serious harm, but it nevertheless clearly traumatized her. Although the incident was shocking in the moment, Fukuhara admitted that she has faced harassment because of her ethnic background far too often in her life. As she revealed, "This is the first time I've been harmed physically, although racial slurs and hurtful actions have been directed at me in the past. I write this because I've had conversations with multiracial friends of mine that had no idea these hate crimes happen to everyday regular people." Because of the event's high profile, there was plenty of coverage surrounding Will Smith slapping Chris Rock at the 2022 Oscar ceremony. However, this wasn't the only case of a comedian who was physically assaulted on stage that year. In May, Dave Chappelle was the victim of a similar attack at the end of one of his shows at the Hollywood Bowl. The attack quickly went viral online, and the details of the excursion were confirmed by an official report released by the LAPD.
And then all of a sudden we look on the screen and then we just see a guy attack.
As Chappelle walked off stage, a man in the crowd named Isaiah Lee rushed at the comedian to tackle him while carrying a replica firearm. Security quickly stepped in to detain the assailant before he was able to cause any serious harm. After Lee was taken into custody, a blade was found attached to the fake pistol. Lee felt justified in his actions because of Chappelle's history of discriminatory remarks. As he explained to the New York Post, "I identify as bisexual, and I wanted him to know what he said was triggering. I wanted him to know that next time he should consider first running his material by people it could affect." Lee felt insulted not only because of his sexual orientation, but also because of Chappelle's comments about homelessness, a traumatic experience that Lee himself has suffered through. As he continued, "I'm also a single dad and my son is 5. It's a struggle, and I wanted Dave Chappelle to know it's not a joke." Actor Steve Buscemi was the victim of a brutal attack in April 2001, and he wasn't the only one involved in the chaotic bar brawl. He was, however, the most seriously harmed person involved in the violent encounter. He was in Wilmington, North Carolina at the time to shoot the movie Domestic Disturbance. During a break in filming, he and his co-star Vince Vaughn went to a local establishment called Firebelly to have a few drinks. Later that night, a fight broke out after a local woman began talking with Vaughn, which her boyfriend reportedly did not appreciate. The altercation quickly escalated to the point that the police were alerted, but that wasn't before Buscemi suffered knife wounds on his arms, above one eye, under his jaw, and in his neck. A source who witnessed the attack told Entertainment Weekly the situation could have been life-threatening. Luckily for Buscemi, he received adequate medical attention in time, first at a local hospital, and then he was flown to New York in order to undergo plastic surgery and made a full recovery. Vaughn was arrested for his part in the brawl, along with 2 local men. While Vaughn and one of the local men were only arrested, the other local man was charged for assault with a deadly weapon on Buscemi.